On the night of December 24, 2019, as the clock struck 9 o'clock p.m., families throughout South London nestled into their homes, enveloped in the warmth of holiday preparations, gifts wrapped, candles flickering, and hearts brimming with anticipation for Christmas morning. Amidst this serene backdrop, Flamur Bakiri, accompanied by his wife and young child, approached their front door. Suddenly, from the shadows, a figure emerged, clad in the garb of a council street cleaner, complete with a latex mask and a high-visibility jacket. In a chilling moment, the man raised a gun and unleashed a barrage of 10 shots, with 8 bullets finding their mark in Bakiri's back, witnessed by his family in a harrowing scene. This was no mere robbery or random act of violence. It was a meticulously orchestrated international assassination, executed with the precision of a military operation by a man who had entered London under the guise of a tourist. Yet, in a twist of fate, the killer made a singular mistake, one that would unravel the entire scheme. Once upon a time, a fierce gangland feud unfolded across the vast expanse of Europe. It was a tale marked by a professional hit executed on British soil, a chilling act that set the stage for a gripping saga. As the shadows deepened, a meticulous surveillance trail emerged, leading to the downfall of the elusive assassin. The murder of Flamur Bakiri transcended a mere personal vendetta. It served as a stark proclamation from the shadows of the criminal underworld, a haunting reminder that even amidst the stillness of the night, London remains perilously close to the grip of organised crime. Hidden from the eyes of the unsuspecting public, Flamur Bakiri was a family man, a successful music executive, a devoted husband, and a loving brother to reality TV star Miss Bakiri. Known from The Real Housewives of Cheshire, he was a father of 2, residing in his £1.5 million townhouse in Battersea. To the outside world, his life appeared polished, professional, and enviable. However, beneath the luxury cars and Instagram smiles lay a man deeply entrenched in Europe's criminal underworld. Born in Albania and raised in Sweden, Bakiri had long captured the attention of law enforcement across Scandinavia, presenting himself as a record producer while authorities suspected he was deeply entangled in organised drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, and money laundering. In 2018, Swedish police identified him as one of the country's most wanted individuals, linking him to a smuggling ring that moved millions of pounds worth of illicit goods into Northern Europe, including class A drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Although some charges were later dropped, he was still convicted of illegally handling smuggled goods and received a suspended sentence. Yet, it was his connections that ultimately made him a marked man. Bakiri found himself entwined with Daniel Petrovsky, the formidable leader of a notorious Albanian-Swedish crime syndicate. Within this shadowy circle, Naif Adawi, a convicted armed robber and notorious for his involvement in one of Sweden's largest heists, a staggering £7 million raid on a security firm in 2010, also played a significant role. Together, they stood as prominent figures in a web of crime that clashed with another rising power, a Danish-based organisation led by the enigmatic Hemsy. The clash between Petrovsky and Meki's networks transcended mere professional rivalry. It was a brutal saga unfolding in 2019. The tragic murder of Adawi's partner, Caroline Hockey, in Malmö while she cradled their infant child, sent tremors through the underworld. The implications were stark. No one was beyond reach. Just months later, Flamur Bakiri found himself ensnared in the escalating conflict, becoming the next target in a bitter feud that had morphed from a struggle for power into a deeply personal vendetta. Following the assassination of Naif Adawi's partner, the Petrovsky network braced for vengeance, and with Bakiri's connections to both Adawi and Petrovsky, he stood squarely in the line of fire in this violent European gang war. The individual selected to execute the hit was an unexpected choice. In the heart of Sweden, a 24-year-old professional kickboxer, Annis Hemsy appeared to be an ordinary tourist, with a clean background and no criminal record to speak of. Yet, beneath this facade lay a carefully orchestrated plan for one of the most notorious assassinations on UK soil recent memory. He arrived in London, his entry cleverly concealed amidst the festive chaos of Christmas travel. Armed with a latex mask, high-visibility clothing, boots, a black beanie, and a litter picker, he transformed into the guise of a humble street cleaner, seamlessly blending into the bustling city. For days, he meticulously surveilled Bakiri's home in Battersea, his movements captured on CCTV as he patrolled the area, his face hidden from view. A local even questioned his presence, curious about why he was sweeping both a private estate and a council road. Undeterred, Hemsy continued his mission, driven by a purpose that extended beyond his solitary actions. He was not alone in this endeavor. His connections reached back to Sweden, weaving a web of intrigue and danger. In the heart of London, Tobias Anderson and Bakiri wove a tale of intrigue, their plans meticulously crafted under the watchful eyes of Clifford Rullox and Claude Isaac. These allies provided the necessary tools and guidance, ensuring every step was shrouded in secrecy. The stage was set by Estienne Pino Muniza, who secured a flat in Oyster Wharf, mere moments from the target's doorstep. Together, this ensemble of conspirators orchestrated a chillingly precise plan to strike on Christmas Eve, vanish into the shadows, and slip away across the continent before dawn broke over the city. Yet, in a city alive with watchful gazes, a single misstep loomed, threatening to unravel their carefully spun narrative. As the clock ticked towards 9 o'clock p.m. on December 24, 2019, the tension hung thick in the air. Flamur Bakiri returned home with his wife Ma and their young child, having just spent the evening celebrating Christmas. Little did they know, a sinister presence lurked outside their front door. As they approached the entrance of their home at Battersea Church Road, the figure emerged, clad in a high-visibility vest, gloves, and a latex mask. Once upon a time, in a world filled with wonder, there lived a character named Annis. Their journey was one of discovery, filled with twists and turns that captivated the hearts of all who heard their tale. Each moment was woven with the threads of adventure, painting a vivid picture of a life lived to the fullest. With a silent determination, Hemsy advanced, his movements precise and calculated. In an instant, he lifted his weapon and unleashed a barrage of gunfire. In a chilling sequence of events, 10 rounds rang out, minus one of which found their mark in Flamur's back, sending him crashing to the pavement, fatally wounded. His wife's anguished scream pierced the air, while their young child stood frozen, eyes wide in disbelief. The scene unfolded like a dark tale, shattering the tranquility of a once peaceful, affluent neighborhood. Unaccustomed to such brutal, calculated violence, without a moment's hesitation, he set his escape plan into motion, a rehearsed act that would lead him away from the chaos. He pedaled away on a bicycle, a choice made to blend seamlessly into the bustling London traffic, yet distinct enough to catch the eye of investigators later on. As darkness enveloped the city, he vanished, retreating to a nearby flat where he shed his disguise, preparing to disappear completely. By the early hours of Christmas Day, Hemsy had boarded a flight from Heathrow to Copenhagen, travelling under his own name, slipping quietly out of the country before the police could even begin to grasp the horror left in his wake. The murder of Flamur Bakiri unfolded like an enigma. A group of detectives was already embarking on a journey, tracing a path through surveillance footage, eyewitness accounts, and forensic evidence that would uncover one of the most intricate assassinations ever executed in contemporary London. Within hours of the shooting, the Metropolitan Police launched a major investigation, Detectives swiftly dismissed the notion of robbery. This was a meticulously planned execution. In the intricate web of investigation, the last connection binding him to the crime was unveiled. Detectives delved into mobile phone usage, employing sophisticated cell tower techniques. They discovered a striking pattern. He consumed far more data while within the confines of the flat, and significantly less when he stepped outside. This digital fingerprint harmonized seamlessly with the timeline of surveillance and the pivotal moment of the hit, all while collaborating closely with Swedish and Danish authorities. Authorities verified that Hemsy had arrived in London just days prior to the attack, masquerading as a tourist. By the early hours of Christmas Day, he had taken a flight to Copenhagen under his true identity. Following a journey to Thailand, he made his way back to Sweden, where he was apprehended and subsequently extradited to the UK. As the investigation deepened, police unearthed a larger conspiracy, revealing that Estevan Monizaga had leased the apartment and was cognizant of the intended murder. Clifford Rollocks and Claude Isaac, both residing in London, were discovered to have aided Hemsy with equipment and assisted in concealing his actions. In the shadows of a bustling city, Tobias Anderson and Bakiri orchestrated their plans from afar, weaving a tapestry of logistics that spanned across Sweden. Their operation was a masterclass in precision, layered and generously funded, yet it ultimately faltered against the relentless gaze of London's surveillance network. The ruse of a fake street cleaner had served its purpose, but in a city like London, the true Guardianchi forensic teams and detectives were poised to uncover the hidden truths. By early 2022, after an exhaustive 2-year investigation that traversed borders, the stage was set for a courtroom drama. This was no ordinary trial. It was the climax of a chilling crime saga that had ignited with a brutal murder on a London doorstep. At the heart of it all stood Annis Hemsy, transformed from a pristine athlete into the Ecusador-hired hitman entangled in a web of organized crime. The prosecution unveiled a formidable array of evidence, each piece a testament to the dark narrative that had unfolded. Surveillance footage captured him roaming the area near the murder scene in the days preceding the tragic event, donning his now notorious disguise. Forensic scientists linked his DNA to various items within the Oyster Wharf flat, from food packaging to drink containers. Traces of gunpowder were discovered on the distinctive bicycle he used for his escape. And in the bin, police uncovered a torn plane ticket with part of his name still legible. Even Hem's digital footprint narrated a tale. Mobile data revealed he was active inside the flat, yet almost silent outside, aligning with the movements of someone meticulously orchestrating a murder. The testimony of witnesses painted a vivid picture of the events leading up to the crime, with residents recounting their encounters with the suspicious cleaner prior to the attack. The prosecution contended that Hemsy was entangled with a criminal syndicate linked to the notorious Danish gang leader Amir Mechi. They argued this was not a crime born of passion, but rather a calculated move in a fierce turf war, with Hemsy cast as the trigger man, dispatched to settle a score with the Petrovsky gang. The defense acknowledged his involvement, but sought to portray him as a pawn, ensnared in a web far beyond his control. They highlighted his clean record, his unassuming background in sports, and suggested he had been manipulated by more powerful forces lurking in the shadows. However, the jury remained unconvinced. In February 2022, Annis Hemsy was found guilty of the murder of Flamur Bakiri. The judge characterized it as a cold-blooded execution orchestrated with precision, sentencing him to life in prison with a minimum of 35 years before he could even hope for parole. Those entangled in the web of deceit also met their reckoning. Estevan Monizaga, the one who had secured the safe house and was aware of the scheme, was handed a 15-year sentence, with the stipulation that he must serve at least 2/3 of it before he might be considered for release. Clifford Rollocks and Claude Isaac, who lent their support to Hemsy in London, received 3-year sentences, with minimum terms of 1.5 years. In contrast, Tobias Andersson and Boa Carrera, alleged to have orchestrated the hit from Sweden, were acquitted of all charges. If this case has left you stunned, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Was justice truly served? Or is the real mastermind still lurking in the shadows? Stay tuned for more gripping tales of real UK crime, where every detail counts.